Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, home of the Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
And welcome, everybody, to the glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and I'm here with USCJ, and we're talking USC football. USC is on the bye week. Disappointing loss in Indianapolis. I mean in Illinois. Sorry, I was watching a Raider game, so. but they lose that game. Now they have to come home and get ready for Michigan. Have a bye week to get ready for it. Everybody watched watched Michigan play at Wisconsin, so everybody has their theories about how to fix everything for the Trojans coming up here. But USCJ, haven't had you on in a while. You can catch him on his show, Lost in the Sauce, and also on Twitter at USCJ32. What's going on before we get into the Trojans? What's going on with your show right now? That you want to tell people about?
Oh man, of course, you guys know the season is absolutely going right now. You guys know after every game, man, I usually do like an instant analysis. Sundays we've been having Jaywalk on there. Thank God for him. B. Shaw, he played at USC last year, safety. He comes on Mondays. So things been going pretty good, man. We just, continue to try to stick with the program, man, continue to stay focused, man, and very optimistic, man. Optimistic throughout the season and still optimistic even with the loss versus Illinois. I think we still have an opportunity, and I think the future's still bright. We just gotta grab the bull by the horns and get it.
All right, so USC, before we get, obviously your show's going on. We got a bunch of different USC content creators out there. So give everybody has a different flavor. So you can turn on a Saturday or Sunday or a Monday, and then listen to everybody. So I definitely want you people to do that. The top 10 got a little shakeup here. The preseason. Number one was everybody was Clemson. Look out for Dabo Sweeney, and they're 2-3, whatever they are. Penn State probably had. That's a loss where I'm never calling for somebody to get fired, but that's gonna be a tough one for Penn State fans to swallow with James Franklin. And then you heard about wait till Manning plays, and and Texas is doing Texas kind of things over there. So what are your thoughts about that? Because obviously with this being a wide open college football season with no real dominant team, the USC has the opportunity here to take advantage of some of the misgivings of these other teams.
Yeah, let me speak to, especially the Arch Manning thing, man. One of the things I was very optimistic about as it relates to our quarterback, and a lot of people were kind of shaky about it. But I've always kind of maintained my stance as far as, and I put up a statement the other day. I said, well, it was probably a couple of weeks ago. I just, how sometimes you think and you just put up a tweet. Yeah. I just put up a tweet. Jaden Maiava is better than Arch Manning. A lot of people, they gave me flack for it. I'm like, man, listen, you got to look at the stats, man. Right now, Jaden Maiava, and you look at his overall production, man, leading the Big Ten right now with 1,500 yards, and he was off and still leading the Big Ten. And you compare it to what Arch Manning does, I think Arch Manning was super overrated. I think the Texas team was overrated, and I think it really speaks to the bias, man. That we continue to see this, man, on a regular basis, man. I mean, Texas right now is not even in the top 25. Texas and Penn State both. Is that a fireable offense as far as James Franklin is concerned? I'm like this, man. The guy, in my opinion, has been consistent. When you talk about 10 wins pretty much every year, I think he took over for the whole Sandusky, whatever,
Yes.
Yeah. So, people, but who are you going to hire? I think we living in a environment now where NIL exists, parity exists. And I think we're starting to see parity at its highest level right now. And a lot of people, even with UCLA, it wasn't like they didn't have athletes out there. You saw what Nico did. The running back looked good. So Yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the NFL. It's a little bit easier because you can say, "Oh, so and so got a hot defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator, special teams coach, whatever," and then you go ahead and get that guy. In college, it's like it's you're taking over a program is is a huge undertaking.
Absolutely.
And some of these teams don't have GMs, like you know what I'm saying. So and the
Right.
GM will take all that pressure off of you as far as like you know NIL and do everything like that. So it isn't it isn't that easy as it seems here. So we'll see what happens with the top 10 and the Big Ten as USC goes forward. Thoughts about USC thus far? 4-1. Obviously, a huge. The next three games are just gigantic, but you got to start quarter by quarter, game by game.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about them going in to play Michigan this week?
I think it's wide open for USC. I think USC essentially still controls their own destiny. I think most people thought Penn State was going to be a given as far as the playoff. I think they had them ranked number 1 and 2 coming into the season. Texas number 1 and Penn State number 2. So now USC sitting right there, man, as far as the Big Ten is concerned. If they beat Michigan, I think that's going to really catapult us to another level of confidence, if you will, you know, because I think at least with our fan base too, because when you look at the fan base, man, a lot of them after that 2-point loss, Illinois, and I think Illinois being ranked number 9 coming into the country, I think now we're seeing why they were ranked number 9. I think they're better than what a lot of people are giving them credit for. You saw what they did against Purdue, and that's not, you know, it was kind of mind-boggling what happened with them in Indiana, to be quite honest with you, because they got like the whole offensive line came back, very experienced team, and now you're kind of seeing the fruit of their labor, if you will, guys that stayed. Yes, they had an off day, but I think that now USC, man, played a good team and lost by 2 points. And you look at the other teams that lost, whether it's Florida State losing against an unranked Virginia team, Alabama lost. So I just think everything is right there in front of us.
Yeah, no question about it. You know, I get it. I get the frustration. I feel like walking away from that game, that Illinois is a solid team, but I think USC is just better. I think that first drive, that when Wayman's having a wonderful season,
yes,
that fumble kind of set the whole tone
absolutely
for the game. So, and I don't want him. I don't want him to be part of his game. Like he's so good and could be like. I mean, he could be one of the best to ever we ever play here. Like to be honest with you. So I don't want that fumbles to be part of his game. He has 2 right now, so hopefully we can show up that part of it, and just continue to run the football because they've been running the football great. Even like going into this, going into the season, everybody talked about Lincoln run the football. What are your thoughts about the running game so far? Because the running backs have been fantastic this year.
And then I think Woody Morris might have fumbled one time, but those are not guys that consistently fumble. As far as the running game, I think USC and Lincoln Riley's committed and is intentional about running. I think Wayman Jordan has like 500 some yards right now rushing on the season. We're talking about almost half of 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Like I think he's really moving and grooving, and the firepower that we got, the 1-2 punch. Some people say lightning and thunder, and I can't remember what Jaywalk said. I always forget. But I think USC running game is effective, and surprisingly, the offensive line is able to hold up and better than what I think a lot of people thought.
Yeah, no question about it. I think, the O-line coach needs a huge pat on the back because not only that, I mean, he's dealing with injuries. Page has been out. Hopefully the center can get back going. But like, so you have those issues there, and they still, if you watched it, I didn't, there was like when Page got hurt, I didn't even notice he was out the game. They were still playing the same thing.
Well. You remember Texas A&M how they kind of performed the same way. Yeah, that just speaks to the talent level and the coaching staff that they're doing a phenomenal job right now. Michael Benuelos came in there; he's looking strong, and we had a little slip up with Reed coming in there at center, going down 3 yards down the field and creating that penalty on that Mekhi Lemon touchdown. But other than that, for the most part, they're doing a great job. No false starts; you hardly see that. No holding. Yeah.
Yeah, no question about that part of it. I really feel like Lincoln too, at least on the offensive side of the ball, like he's really like that. He was really in his bag in Illinois. Like, unfortunately, Reed was too down,
Right.
was too far downfield on that play. But that was one of the best. I didn't know. Usually I'm pretty alert watching these games, but I was
Right.
like, where the hell's the ball at? And then next thing you know, Makai is run down the sideline. Also, people still talking about the and this is no diss to the Ohio State receivers or the Alabama receivers, but I mean, what USC has in Jacoby Lane and Makai Lemon is just
Right.
phenomenal.
I said they were the best duo in college football. I put a tweet up yesterday. I think it was yesterday about No, it was Friday maybe. Makai Lemon and the receiver from Ohio State. I put their numbers side by side. Makai Lemon had a little over 500, almost 600, and the Ohio State receiver had around 369. I wasn't even necessarily comparing the. I was just comparing. They use him as a poster boy for the top receiver. So I was just putting those numbers up. Twitter went crazy, but at the end of the day, I think Makai Lemon is the best receiver in college football right now. His numbers are showing it. He's leading all of college football right now in receiving yards. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yes. And so I think he's the best. And PFF have him ranked at a 90 with the 91 grade. I just think we got the best duo.
Yeah, I mean they are phenomenal, no question about it. Love watching them play. So the issue that people were worried about is Coach Lynn and the defense.
Right,
And
right.
so far. So what are your thoughts about that? And like how do you feel like going forward? I mean, like listen, like obviously we have a lot of like really big names on this defensive staff.
Right.
Thoughts about them getting forward because they have some time to kind of reflect and try to get right before Michigan.
No doubt. Ever since the first game, and I kind of mentioned this after instant reaction, the first game, we kind of noticed the secondary issue. That's kind of like been an ongoing issue ever since the first game. And I think we got to see some type of adjustments, man. We got to see some jamming, some guys at the line of scrimmage, just to throw these guys off the wide receivers that we're playing against, because it's like you're getting these guys, you're giving them all this cushion, and it's not understandable. As to the defensive line, man, we saw a situation where they weren't creating a whole lot of pressure versus Illinois. Whereas, prior to, we saw 16 sacks leading the country. And I think the defensive line will get back to that. I don't think you just have those 16 sacks and be one of the best in the country and you just fall off the face of the earth and don't know how to play no more. I think we're going to get back to it versus Michigan. I think we should see that. But I'll be honest, man, the secondary, I think it's somewhat of a concern. So, I mean, hopefully, I'm hearing that it's a possibility that they could be changing some things up as far as the nickelback and moving Kamari possibly back to safety. We'll see if that happens. Linebackers, I want to see, Eric Gentry, I think he's having a Buckets Award year. But we want to see Desmond Stevens pick it up. But Jaden Walker, man, I think he comes in and fills holes a little different. Just to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, like, and listen, like,
Yeah.
I thought to me, like, maybe, like, listen, I'm not who am I to tell Lynn how to. I'm not telling him how to run his defense.
Right.
So like, don't.
Right.
So,
Who are we?
Before we say that, but I would have thought. I mean, the reason why the pass rush went away in that game is because it's hard to generate a big pass rush when it's 3rd and 2. Like because it's still within like the they could run, they could not, they could still pass. But they need to get some 3rd and longs going. Stop the run. I thought maybe on the first down you can see 3 linebackers. I was like maybe 3 Walker. 31. It's a little different on the run in the run game.
Oh, absolutely, he does. He fills the gap, man.
Yeah, he did. So like I mean, him and Gentry, and Stevenson maybe on first down, just stop the run and bear front something to get them out of just running the ball for 6-7 yards a clip on first down. But because Michigan, I mean, as we get ready for that game, because we talk about that, they are all about the run. Like it's never they're going to run the ball 40 times in this game, and then no matter what the score is.
Absolutely. So I think too, man. We really saw no adjustments. It seemed like in the first half, it was pretty much the same thing we saw in the second half. And that was somewhat of a concern. So hopefully we'll see. I think, and I'm like you, who am I to question a guy that's had incredible career already thus far? I think he'll make the necessary adjustments. Yeah, man. So I think Lynn will make the necessary adjustments, man. I think we got to have enough faith in him to do that. Otherwise, if we don't see any adjustments coming up in this Michigan game, I think that may be a situation where we're concerned.
Yeah, no question about it. I think the secondary, I think what they really want to do is to be able to have somebody step in and play the nickel spot. Obviously, Prophet Brown was going to be the guy, but Prophet Brown is not available. So they're hoping to get somebody to play decent there, so they can have Kamari and Fitzgerald play where they should be playing as far as that goes.
Right.
And DJ Harvey has been a little bit disappointing as far as his play. So and the thing about it's tough because with transfers, like you're seeing some transfers not be more prevalent on this team.
Right.
They're going with the guys who have been here for a while, the guys who are playing better.
I think Bishop Fitzgerald's been the one transfer that kind of stood out as far as the interceptions that he's been able to get, and he seemed like he's been covering pretty much the field from the safety perspective. But I would like to see some of the other transfers like John Jarrett, Keyshawn Silver. I want to see them get a little bit more pressure, man. Those some big bodies. You want to see them get in the backfield. Yes, John Jarrett had the nice interception, and I think he got a pushback on that play a few weeks ago. But we want to see consistency from those interior guys because the ends, those ends been lights out. Whether it's Cam Fountain, Braylon Shelby, all those guys, Anthony Lucas, even Devin Tompkins. I think I want to see him pursue it a little bit better, and he has the ability. I know 100%.
Yeah, no question about it. I do think they have more answers to the question than they had in the past. So now hopefully they got to just put it together and get things going. And I think one guy who I think is really like for the future and for maybe in spot duty or can give him a little boost here and there is Tanuk Hines. I think he is.
I love him.
You can just see every week just getting a little bit. He got more and more. Is there anybody else on some of the younger players who you think can maybe shine for the Trojans coming up in this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I still think, and I forgot to mention, forgive me if he watched this show, but Floyd Boucard, the true freshman,
yes, from Canada.
On the defensive line. I think him, I picked him and Tanuk Hines to be my breakout freshman. Both of them are doing a phenomenal job. To your point, man, like with Tanuk Hines, there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't really recognize about him. That is the blocking. Have you ever seen him block on plays?
Yeah.
I've never seen that guy. He's different when he's blocking. But not only that, he has the breakaway speed. And I think Lincoln Riley, guy by the name of USC Priority, asked Lincoln Riley in the press conference the other day, the players you would have to be on the track team. I think he said RJ Sermons. He mentioned Tanuk Hines, who runs like, I think, a 10-2 or something crazy in the 100 meters. So I'm impressed with Tanuk Hines, man.
Yeah, no question. I'm excited about him too. And one guy who I really like a lot, who you saw early in the season would be King Miller.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Dude, get that man on scholarship, please. Like he's somebody who, because when Brian Jackson went down, I was like, okay, that's kind of stinks, whatever. But like he's been playing great too, so you can see him be in a versatile, piece of the team, if the piece of the running back room, if somebody actually went down. Give me two things. Give me one reason to be really optimistic about the future, about this year, and one thing that you say, hey, if we don't fix it, that could be the thing that keeps them out of the playoff.
I think optimistic, man. I think that USC right now is third overall in the country in offense. You got Florida State was one last time I looked, but then you had forget the other team, but USC sitting right there at number 3. I think the fact that USC and Lincoln Riley, like you said, alluded to earlier, he's absolutely in his bag. I'm excited. I'm happy about that because it seems like the stress is not on him as much as it was last year. So that alone lets me know that, look, man, Lincoln is locked in. However, some of the other concerns that to your other part of the question, I just want to make sure that we make the necessary changes and adjustments from the defensive side standpoint, secondary, because we can face some teams, man, that can absolutely slang it. And I don't even want to mention those things, but and you just want these guys to be able to have proper technique when they're out there in space and in coverage, man, and giving all these guys cushion. So one side is like, yeah, I'm optimistic with Lincoln Riley and be back in his bag and focus and paying attention to the run game. On the other hand, it's you want to see necessary corrections for the defense, or that will keep us absolutely out of the playoffs.
Yeah, no question about it. I know USC's unranked right now, but they have enough quality opponents down the road, and if they win those games, and when they win those games, they have an opportunity to make the playoff. No question about it. So, all right, USCJ, Student Body Right USC podcast. When can they catch your show on YouTube?
Hey man, you can catch me. I drop it like it's hot pretty much
almost
every day.
You can be every day.
I darn near go 7 days a week almost now. It depends on how I feel, man. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like a nut, sometimes I don't. It just depends. But anyway, man, hey, just tune in to USCJ, Lost in the Sauce podcast on YouTube, man. I'm always popping out when it's time to pop out, and so early in the mornings too, throughout the week, man.
Yeah. Best time of year. So you get your coffee going, whatever, and listen to the show. You'll be good to go.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. Jay, thanks. We'll talk to you next time. Take care, brother.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
No problem.
All right.